Hello everyone, this is Andy from the Pixel Pub, and I'm here to talk about my top 5 UFO 50 games. Okay, for those of y'all who don't know what UFO 50 is, it is a collection of 50 games released by the former developer of Spelunky and Spelunky 2 and a bunch of other people, because it is 50 games and it is retro inspired. Whole thing is themed around a fictional console that came out around the mid 80s, late 80s, into the early 90s, I think. Like, there's a game library of that vintage, and it seems heavily inspired by, NES, MSX, maybe a Commodore 64 in there. You see images of the console itself, and it seems like a computer-like device. But I'm an NES kid, that's what I grew up playing, so I get NES vibes from it, honestly. And I think a lot of the developers who contributed to this did as well. I've got top 5 games here. Let's start with number 5. Okay, number 5 is Lords of Diskonia. Now, I've seen a lot of videos talking about UFO 50 games. I haven't seen a lot of people talking about this game. I think this game's pretty neat. It is basically a kind of a turn-based strategy game, except for you are placing units down on this field, and you shoot them around like tops. Basically, you spin it, put a direction, they spin, and you go in that direction, and you bounce around and ricochet everywhere. And certain units do certain damage, and certain units are big, so they take a lot of damage. Certain units are really small, and they can not do a lot of damage. They can't take a lot of damage, but you can have a lot more of them. It's very interesting. I don't know. I didn't know what I was expecting when I started it up, and I was like, man, this is pretty damn cool. It's a pretty unique idea in a game that is filled with unique ideas, because it's 50 games. And yeah, I didn't play all the way through it, but I want to. There's a lot of these games. It's 50 games in one, and I've been playing a lot of games this year period, but Lords of Diskonia really made an impression on me, so that's why it's number 5. Number 4 is Porgy. Now, Porgy is, I believe, the only kind of true-ish Metroidvania in this game, in UFO 50. I love Metroidvanias, and this one's very unique. You are a submarine. You're going down into the ocean, and you're discovering different stuff, and you're limited by your air supply and your fuel supplies. One or the other, I can't remember, but you have to go back to base and refill, and you unlock other bases that you can go to. Like more missiles and stuff to fire. It is very interesting. It is very it takes that little Metroidvania and does it with a twist, with the time limit that you have in world that you have to navigate and figure out. But I wasn't having the greatest time with it until I figured out, oh, you can unlock more bases and you can make progress that way. Okay, and then it opened up to me completely, and I fell in love with it, and it's a super cool game. If you like Metroidvanias and you own UFO 50, go straight to Porgy. I think you'll have a good time. All right, number 3 is a game I'm not sure how to pronounce. I think it's called Valbrace, Valbrace. It is a extremely unique game in that it is a first-person dungeon crawler, and there were, a billion of them back then. They were a dime a dozen, but this one's unique in that you can move around, and when you come up to enemies, it becomes Punch Out. Like, you have your little character at the bottom, and he can move and dodge and throw you got magic and stuff that you can do where you have to move the joystick in a specific way, but you also have your regular melee attacks, and you're dodging attacks from the enemies that are up above. They're big, elaborate sprites like a Punch Out would be. Just what a creative idea. And when you go through the dungeon, you can unlock equipment and stuff like that and make your character look different. I love that type of stuff, when you can equip stuff on your character and he looks different in game. Just right up my alley. Exploring the dungeons was a whole lot of fun, figuring out the different traps and puzzles and stuff like that, and the weird magic system with, like I said, with moving the D-pad around. It was interesting. Very cool idea. I would like to see that specific idea expanded upon. Okay, number 2 is the game I played the most of on UFO 50, but it's not number 1. But I did play the most of it. That is Pilot Quest. Pilot Quest is a idle game mixed with a kind of top-down mini Zelda-like, very, very tiny Zelda-like. You have your pilot. He's crash landed on a planet, and he wants to get stuff to rebuild his ship. And you got this little crystal right in the middle of camp where you've crashed, and you can hit it all you want to, and it will keep popping out crystals, and you can buy stuff. to help you out. But really, the meat of the game is where you're gonna have to go into the little open world, and you find dungeons to explore. You find different items to, like, you know, trade with people, and you find characters who can come back to your camp and help you out. I played the snot out of this game. This is when I heard that, you know, this type of game was in here. It was basically the first game I jumped on, and I had a ton of fun with it. I beat it. I think I got the red thing. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. In UFO 50, you could beat games and they turn gold, but then you do a extra special goal at the end and you get red. I don't think I got red in Pilot Quest, but I definitely beat it. And man, it's a fun little time. If you like idle games, stuff like that, check out Pilot Quest. Okay, if number one isn't my most played game, then why isn't number one? Because this is the game I played through in one sitting. I had a great time with it. I got the gold and I got the red. What a fun time. That is Night Manor. Now, Night Manor is a throwback to those old adventure games on the NES, like a Shadowgate, like an Uninvited, like a Deja Vu. But it is more akin to Uninvited because it is in a quote-unquote haunted house. And, you know, there's a lot of spooky stuff going on. I played it around Halloween. I think just days before Halloween, really. I remember sitting down with the Steam Deck on the couch in the living room and playing through it basically in one sitting, and I had a great time with it. These types of games, I love the idea of Shadowgate, Uninvited, and Deja Vu on the NES, but when you play them, to me, when you play them in practice, it kind of gets kind of boring because it's just like, all right, I'll open this, it didn't work. Can I look at this? Can I talk to this? And, you know, that's not my cup of tea all the time, but for some reason, this hit me hard, and I just wanted to see it to the end. And I got to the end and realized I didn't get there was this, you have to get into this basement area, and I was like, I didn't find out what's in the basement. I need to go back, and I did, and that's how I got the red thing on your list. People who know UFO 50, you know what I'm talking about. But it was so cool, and in a year where Beyond Shadowgate just came out on Steam this year, and I watched some people play through that, and I was like really intrigued, and I literally just said that, you know, I respect those games from a distance, but I don't know if I want to play them that much. I bought Beyond Shadowgate on the Steam Fall Sale, and I was like, I'm going to give this a shot because I loved Night Manor that much. So yeah, that's why it's number one. I want to say it blew me away, but it just really, it hit me in the right spot at the right time, and it was great. Okay, that's been my top 5 UFO 50 games. If you have a top 5, a top 10, a top 1, a top 3, please leave them in the comments. Please like and subscribe, all of that fun stuff. Please follow the link below to our Blue Sky account. You can follow us there. I've been Andy from the Pixel Pub.